I've been receiving many requests to please make another video, especially about marimba technique and specifically about grip and changing the intervals. So let's talk about that. There are three primary 4-mallet grips for marimba performance and vibraphone performance. I use the Musser-Stevens grip. It's a non-cross stick grip, and I'm going to talk more about that in detail in just a few minutes. The other grips are the Gary Burton grip, or the Burton grip, which is primarily a cross-stick grip where the inside mallet crosses over the outside mallet and the fulcrum is created generally with the middle finger. Okay? And the final third grip for 4 mallets is the traditional grip. Again, another cross-stick grip, but this time the inside mallet is on the inside to the hand and the fulcrum is back between the ring and the forefinger. Now, the goal here today for this discussion is primarily about the Musser-Stevens grip, the grip that I use, the grip that is most popular in the United States. However, all of these grips are used throughout the world, including our country. Probably in the USA, the Musser-Stevens grip is most popular. Why is that? Well, it was born here. Claire Musser designed this grip, the Musser grip, in the 1920s and 30s and taught it to many students through his marimba orchestras and through his work at Northwestern University. This is where most of the teachers that taught the generation before me were teaching the Musser grip. And I'm going to show you how I learned that Musser grip right now. The Musser grip. There are many fine marimbas in the world today still using the Musser grip. Okay? What is the Musser grip? It's a non-cross-stick grip where the primary interval change comes from the inner mallet. The inner mallet is focused or centered in the middle of the hand and rocks back and forth like a windshield wiper here. Okay? The outside mallet doesn't really move in order to change intervals, or if it does, it's a really small amount. The major part of the move comes from the inner mallet, okay? The outer mallet is held between the ring finger and the pinky. The inner mallet anchored with the thumb and the forefinger. And then to change the intervals, we'd pull the thumb over on top of the mallet to create that interval change and then push it back and forth. Now, when I used to play this grip, I would almost always have a callus right here in the middle of my hand, because the end of the inner mallet is constantly rubbing that skin here as it rotates back and forth the intervals, creating the callus. Okay? So, as we start to move ahead into the Stevens grip, we're going to see that that focal point is really the primary difference between the Musser grip and the Stevens technique, or the adaptation of the Stevens technique to the Musser grip. Lee Howard Stevens was a driving force for marimba performance beginning in the mid-1970s. He attended the Eastman School of Music, and after his freshman year, he was fortunate to study briefly with Vida Chenoweth, another amazing marimba artist. Vida Chenoweth was also most likely the most prolific student of Claire Musser's. So Vida was able to explain the details of the Musser grip to Lee Stevens, and also with some variations that she had used in her own performances. Lee took this experience, combined with his Eastman studies, as well as his own experimentation with marimba technique, to write a book called Modern Method of Movement for the Marimba. This stick control style book helped us as teachers and as students to learn this technique, to be able to advance that technique in our own playing. Let me show you what the main difference between the Musser grip and the Stevens technique is. Okay, in the Musser grip, we talked about the stick being anchored in the middle of the hand. But in the Stevens technique, you're going to see that the mallet actually moves throughout the palm in changing the interval. Also, when we put the sticks together, we're going to see that the middle finger is going to pull that stick up, and notice that both sticks change the interval. It's not just the inner mallet that's making the interval change, but both sticks are changing, creating a sense of balance with this grip. Okay? Now, how does this work? The middle finger is pulling up into the palm, allowing that inner mallet to change location and also rotate. Now, I'm going to take a piece of tape and mark it on the inside mallet here, and you're going to see this tape rotate as I change the interval. Now, what's happening here is that the mallet is rolling across the pad of the thumb, okay, as the middle finger pulls up, allowing the interval change. Also forcing the outside mallet to move away, creating, again, that sense of balance with both hands. This rotation is essential, and if I move it this way so you can really just see the thumb primarily, you'll see the thumb really doesn't do a whole lot here. It supports the inner mallet and allows the inner mallet to roll across it as the interval changes. Likewise with the forefinger is there to anchor that mallet against the thumb and allow that rotation. Where is the energy coming from? It's from the center of the hand with the middle finger pulling down and pushing down like a fulcrum here. This being a leverage or a lever. Okay? Very good. So that is essentially the premise of the Stevens modification of the Musser grip. I think the proper name for this grip would be Musser-Stevens for certain. When changing the interval, thinking about the use of lift and then back again. So I'm going to throw the mallets into the air, releasing the weight of the mallets in my hand, changing the interval, and then playing on the next beat. So it's a little bit of a lift up, like a little bit of an uplift, up, 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 up. This makes it so much easier as opposed to coming straight across and then pushing the mallets across and then coming back. This is much more difficult. To have that little bit of a lift there makes a big difference when you're playing the Musser-Stevens grip, or really any grip for that matter. Just allowing that mallet to release and to utilize the weightlessness of the mallets, if you will, in transition. I hope this brief introduction to the Musser-Stevens grip has been some help to you. As we think about how to move the mallets and how to utilize our hands to play the marimba, we have to combine them with the concept of great sound on the instrument. That is your primary goal, to make great sounds. So as you strive for this perfection in your own playing, utilize these concepts to help support your sound. Find your own sound, find your own method. You are unique. You are going to bring things to the instrument that others couldn't imagine. All you have to do is to apply those ideas in a musical manner and find the skills that you need to create the best sound possible for your own music. Work hard, practice daily, and be safe.